Hi everybody, happy Friday. As promised, I am going live, and Jen, a friend of mine, is going to join us here shortly to talk about self-care. I met Jen at the Slay the Mic program, which is a fabulous program by Jen, and she is amazing. The whole point of this class is for you to regain the confidence to use your voice in all areas of your life. So obviously we all went into this program with specific goals and specific needs or specific areas of opportunities. But then little did we know is that we actually grew our voice in places that we didn't even realize it was needed. So it's been like a very great experience, and I have met fabulous people. It's not just a program. It's not one of those classes in which you just sit, take notes, and learn and hope for the best. This one's like literally a community that you become part of, and you know how I feel about communities. It's such a good time, and it's such a great fun. So we are going to be waiting for Jen. I know that she is we are both very new at this whole life thing, so we're going to give her a little bit of time. But the topic of today is self-care, and specifically with Jen is a fabulous topic that we think is super important because it's what we once considered a luxury. We decided that it was more of a necessity, more of a mental check and sanity upkeep with ourselves. So let's see if she joined. Hi everybody, I see a lot of people that joined. So give me just 1 second. I am trying to see. One second. I'm kind of new at this, and I'm letting her know that we are live so she can join. Happy Friday, Maria. I haven't seen you in forever, but happy Friday. I thank you for joining. Let's see. There you go. Hi, Jen. Jen made it. So we're going to get her into the live. I will let her introduce herself because she is amazing, and we're lucky to have her with us today. So Jen, hi, welcome. I was just telling them how we met and that what it's like the MAKE program is, and how it's way more than just a class, and it's more of a community that we have really enjoyed, and we have met amazing people just like yourself. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, the whole thing, don't cut yourself short, and then we can get into the self-care topic that we are both so passionate about.
Oh, hi, Telma. So good to see you. Hi, guys. I'm Jen Friedel. I live in Virginia, in the States, and I wear a lot of hats, like a lot of women I know, most women I know, actually. So I teach agricultural law and environmental law at Virginia Tech University, and I'm also a practicing attorney. I have a farm. We have a registered Angus farm. I have 2 small kids, the youngest of who turns 2 tomorrow. And yes, I am loving Slay the Mic. I'm learning a lot just about being more me and using my voice more. And it's something that the world needs more of from all of us, I think, especially right now. So yes, it's so good to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today. We decided to talk about self-care because I feel like maybe we both discovered during the Slay the Mic program how maybe most of us thought of the self-care as a luxury that some people got to have, and while some others we just struggle and wish for it as if it was something that maybe in the future, or maybe because we are moms with really young kids, we will eventually get to it, until we kind of learn or failed or maybe desperately realized that it's more of a necessity. So why don't you tell me, how did you define self-care?
I think self-care is whatever I need. I might need some space. I might need girl time. right? I might need some time with my husband. I might need a clean house. Hiring a housekeeper, like high on my list of self-care. I've only done it a handful of times. And I think one of the biggest obstacles to self-care is guilt. I don't know, Telma, if you feel that way too, but um, you know, I don't have time for self-care right now because I need to be at work. I don't have time for self-care right now because I need to be giving this time to my family. Or the funds that I would be spending on myself for self-care, right? My gym membership, my shopping spree, my girls' night out, like that's money I could be going to my family. I experience a lot of that guilt. And I think that's one of the biggest hurdles to get over, to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like for you, you mentioned all of those, and I'm pretty sure they apply to most everybody. But also, it's also maybe the culture and expectations by everybody else of like, oh, you have brand new kids, it will get better, or it's normal, or sometimes you get that feedback of like, oh, the struggle is normal. You're just supposed to just deal with it, right?
Yes.
And yes, due to guilt or due to the expectations or due to the lack of time, we often forget about how we come out to the world when we are done, when we're not taking care of ourselves and we're really running on fumes and when we're just kind of running empty, right? I
Yes.
discovered for myself that I am much better in all areas of my life when I take care of myself. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to be like so proud of admitting the fact that my husband is like, yes, please go to the gym, go work out.
Yes,
So
Hi, Lisa. I see you on there. Self-care is that thing that I say my family is better for me taking self-care. I'm choosing myself for them because we're all better for it. When I had 2 kids, went back to work, I did not have any mom guilt about going back to work because I knew immediately I did not have the capacity to be a stay-at-home mom because that is the hardest job in the world. And so I went back to work. And so I had zero mom guilt about it. And I told, my husband, like, we are better for our relationship is better for it. Our kids are better for it. They're in school. They're better for it because I'm better. I'm mentally better. I am, more capable. So we are better for everyone else. We are more productive at work when we take that time to do our things than if we are just hammering it down and doing what culture and society might expect us to do. Don't leave work to take your self-care day or hour or whatever it is. I'm so much more productive and a better mom and a better worker,
right.
Better attorney.
So yeah, I feel like you show up a lot better and a lot more capable and effective in all areas of your life. Of course, work, because you are like having these adult conversations that you need to have, that you are like showing up on something that you're really good at, or that you're growing in an area in your professional life, and then you can shut that off, and then you can be like the best mom ever, because then you haven't seen them like the whole, a few hours, and then you actually miss each other, which is great. It's a great feeling to be like, okay, come on over and cuddle this time. Yes. Like Loretta said, she just said, and more present. Yeah, you get to be a little bit more present. I don't know about you, Jen, but I personally am a hyper person. Like everybody that's in my circle will tell you I'm high on energy. So when you see me around a coffee, it's because something went wild sideways on my night. But I'm not necessarily need extra energy, but I am I need to use it. So for me, working out is a huge part of my self-care, because then I release a lot of that energy, so I can slow down and be more present with it, versus feeling like I'm hyped up on a Red Bull that I never drank.
Yes, and tell me, like last night, I know we both use the gym as like our me time, and I love seeing you get it in the gym. Tell me, it's so cool. And but like last night, even like came in, a really long day. The kids are going crazy. I'm about to lose my patience. And I was like, I realized I was like, I need just 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes. I stepped outside. I walked to the garden to check the tomatoes. Like, come back in. Okay, just a breath of fresh air. I'm also very blessed that I have a partner who is supportive of this. And I know not everyone has that. And so those of you who in that, like, God bless you. Like, I wish I had some genius words of wisdom. But obviously that certainly helps, like, tremendously. But sometimes self-care is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a day. I mean,
yeah, sometimes it can also be just like that moment of transition in between your work and start cooking dinner. You just need that minute to maybe just allow yourself to be intentional, right? Now I'm gonna cook, now I'm gonna do this. And I actually learned from a emotional coach, Tabata. She's amazing, and she has helped me a lot to manage my emotions in also all areas of my life. And I consider that a little bit of self-care too, because sometimes I don't know how to best react to certain things, and being able to reach out for help and openly say, I'm struggling in this area, this is what I'm doing, but this is how I would like to react. So asking for help, it's been so amazing, and it's been so helpful. Same with my partner. So yes, I agree. Thankfully, we do have amazing partners in which I almost feel like they are amazing. I'm not gonna take any credit from them because they are great, but they also benefit a lot from us from doing the self-care, So it's like, I hate that saying that says happy wife, happy life, because it's also happy husband, happy life, but it does benefit the whole house. Like, really does benefit a lot from a wife that is taken care of, a mom that is taken care of, a person that is taking those 3 minutes when they need them. And maybe, like Jam says, if you don't have that in your life, maybe you should start by asking for that, right? Maybe you should start by saying, I'm feeling empty and I really need to fill my cup so I can be there for others and my family and everybody.
yes. Yeah, I mean, 1000%. And I mean, just to be quite frank with you, Telma, like, when I feel better about myself, because I've been able to go to the gym, I've been able to breathe, I'm not grumpy, I'm not tired, my husband and I have a lot better connection time, if you hear me. Right? Because I feel better, and that's better for our relationship, which is obviously better for our family, flows into everything. And
the whole dynamic and the energy of the household is in a whole new vibration, like some people would like to say. Another question that I was gonna get in, actually, I saw your live this morning of saying about guys doing self-care, and I think it is a fabulous question. I feel like we don't often talk about it, and I don't know that they are necessarily open all the time to talk about it. But what are your thoughts? I have my opinion, but I'll listen to your first. And if we have any guys on the live, let me see. If we have any guys on the live, please let us know what you think about this, or anybody that has a partner or a male person. What do you think about this whole self-care for guys too?
I see Courtney on here. Hey, Courtney. I got to thinking about this because I was like looking at my husband. My husband, he's a workaholic, but he loves his work. I mean, so it's not a disgruntled workaholic. Like, he would rather work than do anything else. And so I got to think, like, he doesn't, I don't know what he does for self-care. I don't think honestly, I don't know that he does it. And I was like, wait a minute, like, we're always talking about women because moms are constantly, not just moms, but women in general, are constantly pouring into other people, trying to take care of people, et cetera, trying to take care of our jobs, do the most, because we have to climb that ladder and prove ourselves, right? More so than our male counterparts. So I feel like there's just a lot more. So we hear a lot more about women's self-care and checking in, but it just got me to thinking, gee, I don't know that my husband does anything for self-care. And then I thought too about my dad, and it's like, I don't know that he does anything for self-care, but my dad also loves his work. So I don't know if perhaps maybe their love of their work is part of, like, their self-care when they get, a couple of hours, extra hours to just focus on their work and not have to do anything. If that's their zone where they want to be, I don't know. Of course, a lot of men go to the gym too. A lot of men golf, there's a lot of,
I would encourage you to ask him what he does for self-care, to have him think about it and maybe just even reflect on the fact that, I don't know, maybe it's work. Maybe it's, for my dad, now that you mention it, my dad loves reading. And he does take the time to just sit in the couch and read every day. Like, I have never seen my dad away from a book in my life. So I would say he definitely does self-care. For my husband, I would think that it's also like the outdoors. He also loves his job, and he's also a workaholic, but it's because he's proud. He wants to show up like his best self, right? And he also tells me all the time, like, the way that you show up in everywhere is gonna always like, is your resume. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. But he loves outdoors, and he definitely is the one that takes our puppy out for runs or the sweat, which I love outdoors too, but right now in Arizona it's like 100 degrees and it's also super humid, so you cannot pay me to do that.
Yeah.
And he does it. He does that. So I want to say that they maybe do, but we definitely don't talk a lot about it. And maybe we should recognize and reflect on the fact that maybe we should do a better job of, like, this is what I do for my self-care, and thank you for, like, my mornings are very much to myself, and he is super respectful of it. Well, maybe I should say, do you want an hour in the afternoons? Do you like, we have talked about it, but it's different.
Yes. Yeah, that's my friend.
Oh, so sorry. Let me read this comment. I love my work, but still need self-care. I think a lot of men have self-care via outlets that can be as simple as driving a tractor too loud for anybody to talk.
That is so true, Elisa. So true. My dad's peaceful place, now that you mention it, is on the tractor, right? Where he can put on some music if he wants, just have just himself and his thoughts alone, right? That is a very good peaceful time for him, and a good point of self-care. He does not, of course, we know farmers have really long days on tractors, and it's not necessarily fun to be on there for, 12 hours. You come home a bit exhausted, but yeah, that is a peaceful place. I know for my dad and probably a lot of other men and farmers. My husband, actually, kind of think of it too, my husband loves to mow the yard. We still have two small children, but we have, 3 acres and a not big enough lawnmower, and it will take him 6 to 8 hours to mow our yard. And when the kids were really little, I'm inside with 2 small, really small children for 6 to 8 hours, about losing my mind. And I was like, we need to hire this done. I can't take it. And he was like, but I like doing it. Like, I like it. And so I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, great point, Elisa.
That sounds so peaceful. My sister lives in Canada and she has a farm too, and she talks a lot about how it's like a really, really happy place. I'm gonna take a second to just greet everybody that is joining. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kelly. Hi, my brother. Oh my gosh, my brother joined. I wonder if I can put him on the spot and have him ask if guys take time for self-care. We are talking about self-care in general, but we just moved into the guys for a little bit because we know that as girls we are a little better at maybe whining. I don't want to say complaining, but we sometimes we get to the point to where we're just like, okay, this is what I need, this is what I would like, how can you help me? Maybe guys are not really good at stating it, but they definitely sneak around to do it. I don't know. Miguel, if you have an opinion, you are more than welcome to type it, unless you want to join live. But
I wonder too, on that note, maybe men are, like you just said, Telma, less likely to speak up and admit it, again, because maybe some of the societal expectations, those cultural, we should just push right through.
Or sometimes they just find like they don't put it out there, but they might just say like, oh, I'm gonna go fill up for gas, and they just take a long drive instead of just going back and forth. They just go. I don't know, but I'm super curious. So I'm gonna make it a goal to find out and maybe learn a little bit more about this, because it's so interesting. I find self-care to be like something that I'm super passionate about. Obviously, it's also I think it's something that you have that you can connect with other people about, because at the gym, people are there to take care of their health. Um, in class, the program, anything that is going to better yourself in an area of your life, you are taking care of. This is a form of self-care because you're doing something for yourself to get better in an area that you might be struggling. Kelly saying, my boyfriend is not great at self-care. He and I are chatting about how he can do better for mental health and physical health. So yeah, I feel like some guys, maybe they want to do push through, but they don't have to. Like, why? Nobody should have to.
Yeah. I challenge everyone watching this, and I'm going to do it too, to go home and find out what their opposites at their home, men, women, whatever, do for self-care.
And how do they define it, right? I feel like the definition of self-care can be so different person by person because the needs are so different, and because of their personality, everything is a little different.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the biggest hang-ups for you, Telma, for taking time for your self-care? What's the biggest roadblock?
For a long time, it was the guilt. I feel like I had two tiny little kids that I kept telling myself they need me because they cannot take care of themselves, but then they have a fabulous dad. He's the best dad in the world. So I still struggle sometimes with the guilt, and that's why I like time management has been like a huge thing in my life, and it saved me in a lot of areas, because now I take the mornings to myself. So I wake up before anybody in the house wakes up. So we go to bed almost at the same time. Sometimes, yes, I'm exhausted because I know that they're trying to go to bed. But I do wake up before it, so I feel like I'm not taking away from their time. I'm taking time to myself, but they're sleeping, which is exactly what they should be doing, because they should definitely sleep more than us. So the guilt was definitely the biggest roadblock. But having those conversations of what I need with my husband has been super great, because he knows, and he realizes that I'm a lot better for it. But yeah, it was the guilt and the expectation of the fact that many people told me that it's a season of life, and that maybe that it will get better, and going back to work maybe was not necessarily like the best idea, because my kids really need me until the age of 5 is the best age, and the best time to really develop a human. And I completely agree, it is the best age, but I can still be a really good mom and still have a job, like thankfully. Yes. We are pretty good at multitasking, in that, if you want to call that multitasking. But let me read the comments really quickly, because the struggle I have is finding time for self-care. I live alone, so you would think self-care shouldn't be an issue, but it is huge. I struggle daily to find the right balance. And Kelly said, I'll get back to you because I do have an idea on that. Telma, I'm not sure if you have heard me say I cannot pour a tea from an empty kettle. That's right. Kelly has told me that even at work. Kelly is one of my coworkers. Self-care is critical for people who take care of others. I completely agree. But going back to the point, thank you, Kelly. And I love the fact that you always remind me. To the struggle that I have living by yourself, next to guilt is really, really close to how you use your time. So you feel like guilt cannot sometimes guides how you feel that you need to be using your time. And I would challenge you to maybe DM me, and I can send you a little. You want to just maybe test the waters and see how you're using your time, and then you can assess it. You can say at the end of the day, you write everything down. Everything that takes over 3 minutes, you write it down. Just to, at the end of the day or the next morning, you take the time to kind of review it. I call it an audit, because it kind of gives you a really clear picture of what you're doing with your day. And then you realize that some of us waste a lot of time. Like, you think that you're getting something done, but maybe it's not something that is going to move the needle. Maybe it's not something that it really is life-changing. So then you really start realizing that you're better off by maybe putting that aside, or maybe scheduling it. So maybe just set an alarm every day to do something for yourself for 10 minutes. Because everything else, all the chores, all the farm work, it will wait for you. It doesn't go away. It's not gonna get done by anybody else, especially because you live alone. But I would challenge you to just audit your time and realize exactly how it's being used, and then grade it. What is fitting towards your energy, what is not, what is a must do, what can wait for a weekend, and what could you maybe schedule to better times to find a little bit of time for yourself. For
Yeah.
example, me, I don't have more hours of the day. I just happen to wake up extra early because then it's non negotiable, right? There's really no reason. The kids are asleep. I'm by myself. It's quiet. So yeah, it's a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice totally worth making. Go
I
ahead.
love that idea of, looking at your day and saying, what's not feeding me, or what can wait. That's a great example. It sort of gave me a little flashback to my billable hour days as an attorney, where you're accounting for every 6 minutes of your day. Like if you go pee, you account for that, right? That's not a billable hour. It's exhausting. But to do that for one day and say, what are my days? And whether, anyone out there, whether you live alone, you have children, you don't have children, you have a partner, you don't have a partner, you are feeding in to multiple people. And I know, Elise, I know you feed into a lot of people. You do a lot of great things with youth and some dance groups. And I know you do a lot of amazing work. And obviously your work, right? The one that really pays you. And for me, that was a lot of the guilt too for a long time. I'm going to be 30 minutes late to the office today because I'm going to go to the gym or get my cup of coffee or whatever it is this morning. And that guilt really eats into you. But what I've learned is like, once I got over that guilt and I took that extra 30 minutes, nobody really noticed. Nobody really cared. And
you cared. You
yes, I did.
You were better for it.
So much more productive in that time. And so those of you, I know Telma and I are both moms and have kids. And those of you that don't have kids, don't have partners, whatever, I know that you all pour into other people. And I know that your cup needs filled too. And just finding that, like for me, it was making the decision to finally join a gym again after getting married and 2 young kids. And 5 years I had not joined a gym, and making that decision financially, that was a big guilt thing. Like, should I be taking this money? I could be spending this on my children or fixing up our house or something else. That was a big one for me. And so, Lisa, maybe it's signing up for another dance class or whatever it is, a new pair of shoes. It's so important.
Clarita said it's so important to make space for the things that are important to you. And Courtney feels the difference in herself when she doesn't do her self-care stuff. I feel like we all do. Once you have felt the benefits of self-care, then that's when you really realize it's not a luxury. It's not something that some lucky people have. It's a necessity that every single dad, parent, mom, full-time job, everybody has it. Even if you're a stay-home mom, more than anybody, you need it, especially. Going back to your investment, going back to the gym and the guilt that you felt behind the financial, I would encourage you to really see that as an investment, because you are investing in a best version of yourself. You don't have to look like tone up, beautiful. It's not like you're not gonna go pick up a prize. You're not gonna get paid for it, but your body is gonna pay you back. Your body, you're gonna feel so much energy. The adrenaline that you get from going to the gym, the self-motivation that you get, and the confidence that you gain in a gym by showing up and doing hard things and sweating, that is a huge investment. So yes, it costs money, but most things that are worth cost money, and a lot of things that are not worth are also costing money. So
yes, and so I just was like, well, I should be able to work out at home by myself, and there's plenty of free stuff. I have a treadmill in my basement. I have, I shouldn't spend this money, right? Once I did it, it was like, I need community. I need someone pushing me. I need something more to help hold myself accountable. Mm-hmm. And once I did it, I was like, every bit of this is worth it and 10 times more. Because yes, all those things you just said, Telma. And so I feel like once you get past that first stage of guilt, it melts away because you realize how worth it is, whether it's the time factor, whether it's the money factor, whether it's whatever, you realize how much it is really worth it.
Absolutely. So I'm so proud of you for taking this step, because I know gyms can be super intimidating. Actually, when I started working on many years ago, my friends, the two that invited me, had a bet that I would not make it past a week. And the funniest thing is that I almost didn't. I struggled. I died every day. I cussed them out. I got home and I told my husband, I was like, this is not for me, But the fact, and then they told me about this bed, and I'm like, all right. I do love a challenge. I made that trying, but I'm not gonna give. And then I became like, I found the community. I found like the benefits. I found like, oh my gosh, I could actually do a push-up. Who knew? And then I kept discovering a lot about myself and my abilities in a gym, and that translated to a lot of other areas of my life, to where when I got pregnant, I'm super duper afraid of needles. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the needle. Like, I just had to look at it once, and I said, please don't show that to me again. I had nightmares just looking at it. Let's just not. And then you realize that it's all mind over body, that it's all like part of who you are, and the confidence that you have in yourself, which you discover by self-care. Any type of self-care, but you discover it by doing that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. So yeah, I think our challenge for all of us is to ask the people in our lives what they do for self-care. But yeah. One, because I'm just curious, what do people do? Do men do it? How do they do it? And also, other girlfriends, and let's do away with the guilt. Let's just wipe guilt away.
Yeah.
Or try it for a day. Try it one time.
Right. And then come back and say which ones work, which one's better, which one pays forward in your life, like which one's moving you in a better direction. The guilt that is having you stuck and maybe paralyzed, or the investment in yourself, the time that you're spending, and the best version that you're putting out there. Maybe you and I should come back live later just to get back into the topics and discuss the results that we found on our partners. If they openly say, yes, my self-care is when I go podcast.
And did anyone notice that you were 15 minutes late to the office because you took some self-care? Does your partner notice that there's $15 missing out of the bank account because you took some self-care, right? Or whatever it is. Or even let's say it was $100, couple hundred, like, was it worth it?
Right. Like Loretta says sometimes, she's like, life is so short. Why don't you, like, if I'm going to look good in the life that I got, then I get to spend the money that I want on it. I was like, damn right you do. That's all. It's true. It's true. So, right. Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining. We'll connect back to see if we want to discuss the results later on. But I loved having you. Thank you for your knowledge and your wisdom and your energy. And we'll see you soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Make it count. Happy Friday.